Y'all ready to be history?
Get started.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
To the Pro Audio Suite.
These guys are professional. They're motivated.
With Text the VO stars. George Whittam, founder of Source Elements. Robert Marshall, international audio engineer. Darren Robbo Robertson, and global voice. Andrew Peters, thanks to Tribooth, Austrian Audio, making passion heard. Source Elements. George the Tech Whittam, and Robbo and AP's international demos. To find out more about us, check theproaudiosuite.com.
Line up, ladies!
Here we go.
And welcome to another Pro Audio Suite. This week we're talking about mics being specific for male, female, dark, deep, light, bright, whatever. Where do we start?
This question was posed to me and by Christy Harst from Building Doors. She actually brought it up, and it's going to become a blog post for their newsletter. And yeah, it made me really scratch my head because I was like, well, no, mics aren't made for women or men, right? They're just made as they're instruments. But the voices of mics are definitely voiced in certain ways, and some are more forward in the mid, some are more harsh, and some are more sibilant S sensitive. And so I don't know. What have you experimented with, you guys? I mean, I have my own a few opinions, but what have you experimented with that for if you have a voice in the booth? And I hate to even like sexify it. I just want to say there's qualities of voice that are pitches and things that really stand out. But for voices that really have the laser ice pick in the forehead S.
You don't want a mic that has the same characteristics as your voice.
Right.
Because that's just going to accentuate whatever's going on.
It's like I've had a male come to me and say, I have a deep baritone voice. I want to make sure I have a mic that can pick up my baritone. No, you want one that doesn't add more low end.
You do want it to pick it up. Right. You don't want a mic that's going to not be able to pick it up, but you don't need a mic that's going to boost it because you already have it. And so, the same thing with like, a super SE voice. You want a darker mic. And I think you were talking about someone that actually ended up finding the best mic for them was a ribbon.
Right.
Because where ribbons are very dark. Yeah. So for someone who's got an S or a really bright, shrill voice, I wouldn't pick a hyped up high-end microphone. On the other hand, if you're a male with a big, deep voice, you want a mic that's got the full extension, but you actually might want that 4K, whatever, maybe even up into the 5 and 6K rise, so it helps your clarity and doesn't get too muddy. But you wouldn't want that 4 and 6K rise on someone with a S thing.
I mean, I know my voice quality is dark-ish. And it sounds a little bit muffly, at least to me it does. Maybe it's not the way it comes across to you guys, and so I know that I need a little bit of lift up on the top end. So a very flat, dull sounding mic is not a good match for me at all.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the perfectly flat mic works perfecly because it's just perfect.
It's got the perfect Midwest nasal response.
Of course it is, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. From Chicago and...
How about what do you use with your daughter, AP? Well, we were talking about it last week. You mentioned the Rode.
Well, it's funny because when she's here, then she uses whatever I've got set up for her, which is inevitably the OC818.
Yeah.
I would not put her on a 41.6. Having said that, she went for a session in Melbourne a couple of weeks ago, and I said, did they use the E47? And she said, I don't know. It was a shotgun. I went, okay. Interesting. Yeah. So they used a 41.6 on her for a session, which I thought was interesting. But anyway, they were
maybe
happy
just because they have it set up all the time.
Yeah,
I think so. And they just EQ around
like
it,
sometimes you're picking that mic because of some hot spot in your booth and other issues besides the voice itself.
And I think that's a really good point. If it's your booth and your studio and that's your mic, and every idiosyncrasy about that mic and how it reacts to the room, and then it's probably easier for you as an engineer to just have maybe 10 different EQ curves, this is, and then just do a tweak and you're done, because you basically have a model of that mic sound in your brain, right? I mean, what that damn mic sounds like. You were talking about an engineer who knew you had an LA2 or some limiter engaged very, very lightly on your signal, and he heard it.
Compressor.
Even though it really wasn't printing with much anything. But
that's because he was so intimately aware of your voice, Andrew.
Exactly. I had an NTG3 and I gave that to Somerset. That was her first microphone, which she still uses. And I think for her, it's absolutely perfect because it has all the functionality of a typical shotgun. So for directional purposes,
right?
Just having to tight the pattern, but it doesn't have that, ear bleeding toothpick in your eardrum.
Yeah, I guess Rode just decided, well, let's make our version of a 416, but let's voice it the way we want to voice it, which is more, I don't know, is accurate the word, or is it just more flat?
It's hard to say any of that, like accuracy and flat, and it's their version of what they like to hear. I find NTG3s to be rather muddy, I think, in comparison. I'm not a huge fan, but the NTG5, I think, has a wonderful balance of deep lows and a nice, pretty smooth top end. The top end is there. I don't think the NTG5 is as harsh as the 416, for example.
No way.
And it definitely has a better bass.
Yes. Yeah. I think they looked at the NTG3. They know the 416 is just so pervasive. And they're like, let's kind of meet it in the middle. Let's voice it a little closer to a 416, but still have our own unique sound.
The thing about the 416 is just the cut that it does. If you have a spot that has anything going on, it's just like, it's not necessarily pretty, but it cuts through.
Funny because I use 416 here for promos. I use a 818 for commercial long reads. And my Rode case is an NTG5.
And that's mainly because the NTG5, it travels easily. It's kind of more neutral than, it's not as neutral as the 818, but it's...
And it's an RF mic. It uses an RF capsule design too, so it's impervious to humidity.
Is it RF? Yeah.
Which makes it a pretty good travel mic too, for that reason. And it's very light.
The only problem with those NTG5s is that they do seem to have a reputation for just shitting the bed.
Yeah, I've had a few clients with them.
Flat out dying.
Yeah, it's happened. They always replace it.
Yeah, I was going to say exactly that. I was going to say that the thing about Rode is if it does shit the bed, then they'll buy you a new duvet.
Yeah.
Maybe chuck in a pillow.
yeah. That is true. Yeah. Well, I've in the past I've found a few mics that I thought were really smooth and not overly hyped. The AT4047 SV, I think it is.
Yeah, well, that one's got a transformer in it. The 4047's got a nice like saturation transformer. That's why. Yeah.
So a transformer saturates and thereby smooths out transients or bright.
It smooths stuff out. It just gives it that harmonic complexity that makes it less. The 4047 specifically has got a transformer in it. That's its thing. When you compare it to the 4033 or the 4040 or the 4050, I believe those are all probably transformerless.
Transformerless. How about anything with 47 in the title is supposed to be evoking the tone of a U47?
Yeah, darkness.
I'm assuming.
It's hard in audio to use that number and not end up
voicing
somehow
that way.
Yeah, evoking.
And the 47 is voiced a little bit dark.
The same thing with the 67 too. The 47 is
a little bit brighter, isn't it?
The 47 is pretty dark, and the 67 is like, it's got a lift, it's smoother.
So mics that smooth
But people
out.
like the 47 because it has a certain naturalness, I think, that it's kind of,
and it was designed in 47, right?
Yeah.
Hence the model number?
Yes, the dates, I believe those are the dates. I'm not sure.
Doesn't that blow your mind that we still love that mic? And it's 80 years old?
Yes, exactly.
It's mind-blowing. It's really incredible.
But how much of that is like placebos? Like, I really wonder, you take a really good mic, like, honestly, like an 818, and it's so smooth. It's so
very
clear.
Good. I don't know if I've ever heard anybody AB an actual U47 against an OC818, but I would imagine they would compare very favorably.
I'd say the 818 would be more like a C12.
Actually, the C12 comes up too because my friend was an engineer, and he, when digital came out, and he was an engineer all through the 60s and 70s. And he's like, you're always fighting noise. You're always fighting tape hiss. And then these digital systems come out and there are no noise. And it's like, holy shit, we finally have what we want. And then all you kids are like, no, it doesn't sound as good as the old stuff. And he's like, do you know what the old shit was? Did you work on it? Do you really know what you're asking for? And he was convinced that actually people fell in love with the sound of we were talking about tape decks at the time, but just they fell in love with the sound of a tape deck that hasn't been biased and aligned in 3 weeks. And, it's like, or people have, it's a famous thing with 67s and 47s, and you can get 10 of them, and all 10 of them sound different, especially at the age.
Yeah,
so
of course they do.
What are we all falling in love with here? Because there's no consistency about this stuff that we are
that is true.
supposedly thinking we're in love with.
Talking about microphones, I saw a message someone sent us, and I wish I could find it because I could tell you who it was, but I've forgotten now. But he said, I can't believe in the next couple of weeks that no one is going to mention the new Bon Scott edition of the U47 FET.
Bon Scott?
AC/DC.
The AC/DC.
Oh,
the late Bon
right?
Scott, who would have turned 80.
you mean a naming licensed mic by Neumann?
Yeah, you check it out.
Mhm.
It's really interesting.
No kidding.
Martin Mahoney. I think it
Neumann
was,
doesn't
sent
do
us.
Rockstar and licensed
They
mics,
do now.
do they?
Now that they're owned by Sennheiser, they do.
It's a black version of the U47 FET. Their first albums were recorded in Sydney. They would have been on a Neve, and maybe they had U47s there. But then they
It's
recorded
funny because
in
the 47
UK
FET is more
and-
known for kick drums.
I think
The FET.
actually.
someone at Neumann
Yeah.
is going, you know what? There is a market out there for a product like this. There's plenty of money to go around thanks to the
Yeah.
market right now. Let's tap in.
Let's go take that fine mic and put a U47 body on it. And
So this is
Bon
not the
Scott.
TLM47. This is the U47. So this thing, I mean, what are these things going to map at? 20 grand? I mean, what are these going to be selling for?
Oh, God knows.
no, probably about $2 or $3 grand. They'll probably be $2 or $3 grand, I bet. It's not a tube mic. It's
no,
an
it's a
FET.
U47.
It's a
not the-
FET.
Oh, it is
It's a
FET.
FET.
Okay, you're right.
U47.
I apologize. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a FET.
It's a
It's not a
U47 FET.
tube. Yeah.
Fascinating.
I think actually they usually call it a FET 47,
FET
I believe,
47.
more than a U47. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Still, yeah, it would be in the 2,000 to 3,000, I think, range for that. Yeah, I mean, putting a signature on a mic. I mean, they've been doing this on guitars and everything you can imagine. I guess Neumann's fine. Like, okay, let's do it. They've probably been thinking about it for years, and they're like, "No, we're not crossing that line." And they're like, "We're crossing that line."
They've crossed the line. I'm just trying to find a price on the thing. I've found the link to
Well,
it.
what else is? I mean, what else is there to do if a woman says, "I want a mic for my voice"? I mean, other than say, "Here's 3 mics, go buy them and try them."
That's the thing to do with anybody is go get some mics, record yourself, and see what works best for you and how you want to sound. Because you can make some generalizations, but
Yeah.
inevitably those are generalizations. Women are going to have a brighter voice. They're going to have less low end. You can maybe have a higher high pass setting if you want and get away with it because there's less body and chest. Maybe they have a brighter sound and you don't want to accentuate that as much. But
that's why I really like the
generalize,
818.
like-
It just sits in that perfect spot between
it's very smooth.
the
Yeah.
47 and something really bright,
Yeah, sweet spot, Goldilocks, just right.
It is a Goldilocks, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is, yeah.
47 FET is
Which-
5,000
which-
US.
Whoa.
It is.
Jesus, really?
That's expensive, man.
Yeah. But going back to that Goldilocks thing, I think it's interesting because the 818's heritage comes in a sense from the 414 and the C12. And the 414, I think, was always a desert island mic. If you could only have one mic,
414?
Yeah, it's a do-it-all. I mean, it really
Yeah.
can.
And the 818's just the spiritual successor of that with just
It's almost
even
like
more
an
tech.
improvement of it, I dare
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Well, I put the two together because I
It's-
got a 414 EB and I put it next to the 818. And you can hear the relationship between the two mics, even though the 818 sounds much more modern.
Probably
and
has a higher
cleaner.
output too, I'd imagine.
But
Mhm.
yeah, but you can hear it. You can hear where the that heritage. You can hear it in the mics.
Oh, that's nice. I don't have any other specific mics that I've thought of for female voices over the years. I think that covers most of them for me. I remember recording a friend's girlfriend who was doing theater performance. So she had that very, very mid-range forward vocal. And I did actually use my Octava, I think it's an ML52 ribbon mic.
Oh, C12.
A very dark ribbon on her vocals. And it worked. That was one of the very few times that I pulled that mic out for a vocal. I'd used it on horns, but never on a voice. But it worked.
Well, here's the other thing about any of these mics. You can get the wrong mic or the mic that's not necessarily as good, maybe has other characteristics that you like, and you can get around some of this with a gentle EQ setting.
That's why I always tell people don't overthink it so much, because we can sculpt it, we can smooth it, we can compensate for certain things. But I don't know, sometimes there's a spike in a capsule's response where there's one frequency that capsule resonates at, you know what I mean? And if you have something in your voice that just lands on it, it's just brutal. For me, that's the Neumann, the 49, not the M49, the TLM 149. Every time I hear a TLM 49, I'm like, why does it have this M49? Nasal mid that it's like, ugh, I don't like that.
I think that's actually an 87 thing. Like I think 87s can sound really, 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 really good. And then on some people, an 87 sounds awful.
It sounds like a honk. Like, it's honky.
Yeah, sometimes
it's a honk. That's what it is.
Matching that 87 with the wrong person.
I got to smooth out the 2 to 3K and put a little dip in the 2 to 3K on those mics. For me, to make them sound the way I want them to sound.
The 87s.
At least in a vacuum. You know, you throw it into a mix, okay, maybe that's different, but it's just different when it's soloed out.
Well, that's the thing about the 41.6 is it sounds terrible until you throw it in the mix, and then it cuts through and sits right. Even though on its own you're just like, it's, you know.
What I really like is that I do like the CC8, but you've got to have half decent mic technique, otherwise it's just going to be a disaster. I mean, that would be a perfect
because it
mic.
has such a small pickup pattern. Yeah.
I catch my plosives on my YouTube videos or my webinars. I'm like, I popped it again.
But they sound that they've got a beautiful sound to them. I really like the CC8. Hence the reason I'm using it right now, in fact. Yeah.
I mean, George, you're talking about ribbons every now and then being the right one. But for commercial, industrial reads, like, you know, not broadcast, do you ever find that a dynamic mic is actually the mic?
On any voice particularly, or on a female voice?
On any voice. Is there any situation where someone, I've honestly not personally found it where I would ever say like, ooh, I'd rather have for this commercial or an industrial video or anything that's not like a broadcast podcast kind of thing. Yeah. I've never ever thought like, I'd rather have a dynamic, a SM7, you know, or
I can't say I would.
50.
I mean, I would rather someone have a generic condenser mic and then just have a model or an EQ put on it. You know, something that doesn't have anything offensive, a really, really smooth mid-range with no dips and bumps in it. Something that's super easy to EQ. That's what I would much rather have on anybody, honestly.
Absolutely. And most ribbons need EQing before they're like,
ribbons do.
They take to EQ.
Yeah.
They do, because their responses are notoriously smooth, right? Like across the band, like really flat.
Right. They don't have the little jagged sawtoothy things going on.
Yeah.
And they take to EQ really well, but they usually need EQ because the overall curve of that mic is usually lacking on the extremes. Yes. Mostly, especially the high end.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm not particular to dynamics. Yeah.
When I first decided to take the plunge and buy something of value as a microphone and a preamp, I went and saw a guy, Lewis, and I said to him, this is what I want. It's for voiceover. This has got to be like super clean, capturing everything. And he said, right, okay, here's the mic and here's the preamp. And it was the Gefell M930 and the Grace M101. Mm-hmm. That was my original setup.
Which this whole conversation hasn't even gotten into, pairing mics and preamps.
That's some real dark art. Lots and lots and lots of hours in the studio stuff, right? I mean, that's listening and experimenting.
there's the obvious stuff like an SM7 needs something with a lot of good clean gain, but then, you can take a mic that's fast. I don't know, like even a 414, say, and then pair it with a John Hardy, and you're just pairing bright and fast with bright and fast.
Yeah.
And you can do the same thing with mics. You can say, here's a bright, fast mic, and I'm going to put like a smooth Neve preamp on it. And these are all just kind of layers and brushes, and you're just looking for the sound that you like. Really,
when you say
it's hard
fast,
to-
you're talking about reaction time to transients. Okay.
Yeah.
Like a
Exactly.
T will be a less crisp
The really
sound if
Yeah,
it's
like,
a slower.
if you have a lot of mouth noise, then getting that Grace mic preamp is probably not going to be your best friend because it's quick and fast and a straight
It's
wire.
brutally honest.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Same with the Millennia, right?
And,
Like,
and if you
brutally
combine that
honest.
with a bright mic, you're just like, and
Yep,
so
yep.
Yeah.
that those are different aspects of your voice. It's not just your overall tone; it's also your mouth clickiness.
Well, what's a slow mic? A dynamic mic?
A dynamic
Are they
mic would be
slower than
slower.
condenser mics? In just
I think so.
by
Yeah.
design. Okay.
Well, they don't have
Yeah.
a big coil hanging off the back end of the diaphragm.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. They
You
have.
know,
they
like, they're
just
just
by
they're just
design would need
Gold-plated, yeah.
extremely
They're
light
lighter. The diaphragm.
diaphragm. Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Ribbons. Same thing. Somewhere in the middle.
Ribbons aren't really fast.
Yeah.
I don't think for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't associate a ribbon like the condensers are fast, and then as the condensers get smaller, they get faster and more transient.
Yeah.
Because
What's a ribbon mic that if you could get a ribbon mic that had the pickup pattern of a I don't know, a cardioid
cardioid?
pickup ribbon, what would be the ultimate cardioid ribbon mic?
I think those
AEA.
AEA ribbons, I hear a lot. I've not owned one, but I've seen some of those almost not need EQ. So they either have some EQ going on in them, but I've seen and heard some really good stuff from the AEA ribbons. I don't have a lot of experience with Royers, but I get the feeling that Royers are very ribbony.
They're excellent.
And not necessarily, yeah.
The one I always wanted to test and never could get my hands on one was the Rode ribbon, the NTR.
Oh, is that out of
Which was
production?
like really expensive. It was like a flagship kind of mic for them, and it just never sold. It's
as an
I
active.
assume because it's gone.
Oh, I can
Yeah.
get these.
The ribbon I'd like to try is the Audio Technica. Audio Technica made a super high-end ribbon too.
Rode selling theirs
It was-
on.
It's interesting with ribbons because the less expensive ribbons, they really
Right.
get dark.
Yeah.
A used NTR, by the way, is $450 US. Not too bad.
Yeah.
For a ribbon mic.
How much is that Audio Technica ribbon though? That thing's like $2,000.
I don't know,
think.
but I did see did you see that? What's that Latvian mic company? They used to make one that has a hole in the middle.
Jay-Z?
Dual ribbon condenser now.
Yeah, Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, yeah.
It's inside the same head basket.
Wow.
Like literally, there's a ribbon and a condenser in the head basket next to each
The
other.
ribbon mic I want actually is the Fostex printed ribbon.
Really?
That
No kidding.
Yeah, you can't get those anymore, and they are a distinctly different type of ribbon mic, like the construction and everything. I'm not even sure how they're made, but they're kind of like the hybrid between a dynamic mic
Jeez,
and
I
a
can't even find
traditional
one of those
ribbon
things.
mic. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they're rare as shit. The Fostex printed ribbon, but they're also like $2,000. You know, you don't associate Fostex with like that kind of gear, but yeah, that's a really interesting one, and they're supposed to sound really good.
And so the Rode I heard was like not like any other ribbon. I don't know what's different about it, but people loved it.
And
it just
Shure
didn't-
also has a series of ribbon mics that are supposed to be really good. And they actually make it out of some material that makes it so that you can put them in front of kick drums and they don't get destroyed. But I think they didn't sell enough of them. And I think they're just like, who cares about that line? Like they're not pushing it.
Yeah, I think sales is always going to be a thing. They could come up with the greatest mic, but if it just doesn't grow legs and then is expensive to manufacture, and it's difficult to repair and all this kind of stuff, it's just, they're going to be like, it's not worth it anymore. This is one of the Fostex ones. This is called the M20 RP.
Yeah, it's like the M11 RP.
M11.
The M88 RP.
There's M11 right here.
But it says here, it's a hybrid diaphragm, uses a thin membrane with a photo-etched metal coil, acting like a cross between a dynamic voice coil and a ribbon element, like I said.
Where is Fostex out of anyway?
Fostex is Japanese, yeah.
Japanese,
I believe
okay.
Fostex was people that came out of TIAC.
Oh, okay.
I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah, never ever came across that mic. It's got a voicing control on the bottom as well, sort of like an SM. Well, it's got a roll off. It's got a low end or a low cut switch on the bottom of it.
Yeah, it's just a roll off.
Yeah, I still feel like the OC818 is pretty close to a desert island voiceover mic, I think.
I think it is.
I mean, geez. And that's before you even crack open their plugin, and start playing with the polar pattern designer. Because, geez, if you start using a pattern designer, now you can completely sculpt the 5 bands on the mic.
Per frequency,
totally
polar response.
It's like,
Which you can use that on other mics too. Any mic that's got the dual output,
just
you
can
use that plugin on it. But no, it is. It's.
I have something else I want to talk about, but I'm not going to do it on the show.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I have another
And that's
idea.
the perfect out.
It is the perfect out. I'm going shopping.
Well, that was fun. Is it over?
The Pro Audio Suite, with thanks to Tribooth and Austrian Audio. Recorded using Source Connect. Edited by Andrew Peters and mixed by Robbo. Got your own audio issues? Just ask Robbo.com. With tech support from George the Tech Whittam. Don't forget to subscribe to the show and join in the conversation on our Facebook group. To leave a comment, suggest a topic, or just say g'day, drop us a note at our website, proaudiosuite.com.